Hi, good morning, everybody on the West Coast. Anybody on the East Coast, early afternoon? How is everyone? Welcome to episode 8 of If This Canvas Could Talk. And I'm going to invite my friend, fellow artist, Terry Wilson. And let me just get her on. She is invited to join. And so I hope you guys are all doing well. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Glenn. Thanks for joining. I'm so excited to get this going. It always takes us a minute to invite Terry to join me to get started. Let's try this one more time. Give it a minute. I hope all of you guys are doing well. Today we are going to talk about art fairs. And I did my first art fair the 1st of October, and I want to share all my learnings and what I had found out about doing that art fair. Hi, Aussie Mama. How are you guys? I'm just trying to get my friend Terry on here. I don't know why she's having a hard time joining. Terry, I'm inviting you again. Tell me if you get the invite. Oh, there she is. Yay. Okay.
It's kind of
You know what I think, Terry? I have to invite you and then just leave it until you come on.
yeah, it worked good
So
this time. It's just
yeah.
weird how it flipped. I literally flipped my camera so that when it came on, it would be on, and Instagram flipped it back around. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I don't know why. But welcome everybody. Hi, my friend Terry.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So I'm Jeanette Bergstrom, and this is Terry Wilson, and we're both artists and painters, and we are doing episode 8 of If This Canvas Could Talk, and we're
Oh,
so excited.
yeah, we are. And we have so much to talk about today because you had a very big event happen since the last time that we were on here. So I can't wait to dive in and talk about it whenever you're ready.
Okay, so I was super scared my very first art fair. I didn't, I had that whole panic feeling like, oh my God, what if nothing sells? I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna have a hard time putting up the tent and all the nerves that goes with it. But I tell you, it turned out great. I learned a ton, and so I wanted to share all that I learned. And one of the main things I discovered is because since I hadn't done one before, the difference I figured between an art fair and a craft fair. And I think this one that I went to was good, but it was arts and crafts. So they had fine artists, but they also had crafts. And I feel like that was the difference with this one, that at a craft fair, people are looking for a little bit lower price pointed items. So all the artists that I met there, which I want to talk about how great all the artists are that I met, and it was fun just for that too, and sharing information. But all of them who have been doing this fair for a while, they all had cards, they all had prints, they had their originals, but they also had lower price pointed items. So I luckily I had made prints, so I had $35 prints to offer. But it's one of those things where, like on a cake, the original art is kind of like the frosting, but the heart of it and what people are looking for is more giftables. So they end up
Yeah.
going for the lower price pointed items. Like there was one lady selling necklaces that she made out of vintage eyeglass lenses, and then she put vintage maps on the back. She was selling those for $20 a piece, and she had people in her booth the whole time.
Oh, in and out. Just,
Yeah,
yeah, probably. She was selling a lot. Yeah.
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 So
That
I
makes
do,
total sense.
yeah. So I do think the difference is when you scope out, if you want to be in an art fair, scope it out and decide, do you want to have like more craftables? Like, so I'm doing it, I signed up for two and I'm doing the second one in December. So I'm painting ornaments right now that I can sell because they'll be a little bit lower priced even than my prints. So I'm going to be working on ornaments so that I have some lower priced items for that sale. But what I was realizing is that with the arts and crafts, the crafts people are looking for a little bit more giftables, a little bit maybe lower priced items. So I'm going to look for an art fair that just has fine art in it and try that at some point in time because I figure that is going to be, people are going to go to those types of places specifically looking for art and original art.
Yes. And I feel like they're also going to, if they're in the market to purchase original art, they're going to also know what the range is that they're going to be spending for original art and not be sticker shocked when they came to buy cards and then they're seeing, an original piece that's a lot more, obviously, as it should be, because a lot goes into making original art. As we go on and on, I'm learning more and more and more about, you know, the
What
price
it
of
takes.
everything and what it takes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Another whole um that's another whole episode. Okay, hold
Oh,
on. So Aussie Mama, I was just going to go in. So
yeah,
Aussie Mama said, ask the organizer what type of vendors they have lined up. Sometimes you can get a list of vendors.
oh,
That's a great um, uh, great advice for sure. Great idea.
yeah,
And then C Captain 123 said, great idea, Jeanette, focusing on holiday seasonal items. Yes, because you're going to be going the 1st of December. I mean, pretty much everybody that's coming through, even if they aren't necessarily coming for the holidays, they may see something and go, oh, that's
right.
perfect for the holidays, and it'll just work out.
Right. And it's December 10th, so people might have already bought a lot of their Christmas, but they maybe need a hostess gift or last minute. So if they come through. So I think it's really important for any of us that want to go to an art fair to kind of determine, like Aussie Mama said, determine what other vendors are going to be there. And then you'll kind of know what to do. And that leads me into the second thing that I discovered is definitely having a range of price points. So now that you know what type of fair you're going to be at, you can say, okay, well, I'm just selling fine art and prints, or I'm selling fine art, prints, and cards. And then you'll have a range. So like if you're selling cards for $5 each, or like I'm trying to decide what price to put on my ornaments, and I'm thinking $25, but I'm not sure. And then my prints were 35, and then my originals, were up to 225. So I think having a range of prices is good. And one of the artists that I met said she brought some of her large paintings, that were like $500 or more. She knew those probably wouldn't at this event, probably wouldn't go, but it was the window dressing and it got people
Yes.
in her booth. And so,
Oh, for sure, for sure. That's kind of
yeah,
like the eye candy that draws them in.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That's actually brilliant too, is to have those larger pieces as the draw. And then they maybe if they weren't there to spend that much, then they'll buy the cards and the prints. So I wanted to ask you before we get off of prints, um, who do you use for everyone? Because I've already had this conversation with Jeanette off camera, um, because we've been having conversations about raising prices and, how to do that. And basically, she's been kind of coaching me through, charging more for the original, but then being able to offer the prints. My Now that I have a camera that I feel confident that I can get really good prints, I'm going to do that. So will you share with them who you use? And I just got my little sample thing, so I'm so excited.
yes, I will. So yeah, Prince is a whole nother like ball of wax. We should do a show about that where we talk about it specifically. But I actually, again, listened to another artist on, it was a YouTube video or something, and she had done where she had sent out different prints to on-demand printers to see what quality she got. And I could tell by how she was talking, she was really specific about the color of her art. And she showed the 3 different vendors and what they came back with the same image that she sent them. And what she recommended and what I saw from the samples was a Finer Works in, I think they're in Texas. I'm not sure where in Texas, but Finer Works is an on-demand printer. They hook up with Shopify. They also hook up with Squarespace. And I ordered, I don't know if anybody saw my post, but I ordered a bunch of prints for the show. And some of the prints that I ordered were my crow paintings for fall. And I had them printed on, they offer all kinds of different papers. Like Terry said, she got her sample. You could order a sample pack of the different types of papers they put on. My larger prints are printed on fine art canvas so that you can have them stretched. And then what I did for the show was on watercolor paper. And oh my God, the color, the texture of the paper, it's like a thick cotton paper. So it felt like an original piece of art. It was so, they did such a good job. Yes, I had to tweak and made sure my images were right. And that's why we could talk about that later, because if you're going to enlarge something or you're going to blow something up, you have to have at least 300 DPI, which is the printing resolution that printers use for fine art printing. So that's why Terry got her camera, so she can get some high resolution images. I've done a few with my iPhone, but you just have to know that whatever size you're taking that photo out, you can't blow it up, because iPhone only saves them at a 72 DPI. So you do have to bring it into another, like a Lightroom or another photo program, so that you can get it into the 300 DPI. But that's a whole, that's a whole gamut.
I wrote it down on our list to do a live about that, because it's a whole other ball of wax, as you said, for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into art that people don't realize. You know, it's not just painting the painting.
No, and I did have samples ordered to see if I had done my Photoshop art, correction right, so it would match the original. And so I would also recommend ordering a sample of a print you want to have made to make sure that what you did in Photoshop was right. But when I ordered from them, their quality is fantastic. It does take like a week to 10 days before, like once you order it, then it's like 7 to 10 days before they actually ship it. But they'll ship it directly to your customer if you do attach it to your website. So, but Finer Works in Texas are awesome. I recommend them. And I have no affiliation with them, but I do love the quality of their work. It's awesome.
I'm super excited to do that. I already have a few paintings that I think would make really cute cards.
Yes.
And so, do they do cards, or do they just do prints?
Well, I've only used them for prints. I think they do. No, I don't know if they do. I have to look into that. That's a good question.
I know. But I'm going to write that down to look into it.
I got to look at a person that does the cards, but I definitely recommend them for prints.
Okay.
And ordering a sample of what paper they offer. And then if you have something you want to get printed, make sure you do a sample for yourself first to make sure you like the quality. Yeah. But that was awesome. But so that was number 2 was price points, having to raise your price points for sure.
And how did you collect emails? And you did a giveaway. So how did that work? How was it successful? Like what do you suggest that we do? Because I have an event coming up Friday night, and so I'm about to do this part of preparation, which is getting my giveaway ready.
Yeah, and we have to talk about that after you do yours, because Terry is doing a pop-up. So she's doing a pop-up store, which is different. So we'll have to talk and see what she found out from her pop-up store. But I knew that it's important now to really start collecting email addresses from people. So what I saw at the fair was that several people had books out where people can come along and just sign up in their book. almost everybody had some sort of a promo card that people can just grab off their tables that had their web address, their email, and their social media addresses. So someone could just pick up a card that way. But what I was trying to do is really try to get people motivated to sign up on my email list. So I did a small giveaway print that I had framed and signed, and I had that sitting out on my desk. And anybody that was interested or was looking at my art, I asked them, I said, if you want to, you can enter in for this free print, and you would be signed up on my email list and get my newsletter. So it was kind of a motivation for people to, because it's hard. I don't know why it's so hard to get people to sign up on email lists, but it's not easy.
because we get bombarded with spam from email, I mean, that's just, and so people are afraid to give their email out because they don't want more stuff in their box. I mean, that's how I feel, right?
Yeah.
Is I avoid that as well. So the giveaway, I think, gives them a reason, to do that.
I thought it
To
gives
give
them
it to you.
Yeah, a motivation. And then if they like the print and they think, oh yeah, I want to win that, then it lets me know that they are interested in the type of art that I also do.
Very true.
But I meant to go back around and ask some of the artists that had the sign up books to see if they got people signed up on it, just to see if just by leaving a book out and having people sign up that way, if that worked. But I forgot to go back and ask. So when I do it in
We'll have
December,
to write that down for December.
Yeah, when I do it in December, I'll have to find out if they get email signups that way. But for sure, I'm going to do probably another giveaway. Maybe it'll be an ornament this time.
Oh yeah, that'll be super cute. I bet you'll have a lot of people sign up for that too.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Yes.
I'm hoping. Because I figure even if I don't get a ton of art sales, getting people interested in your email list is so valuable. I can't remember what they say, but every email you get is worth so much in the life of your business. And I wish I knew what that number was, but I can't remember.
But that's very true, because we know that Instagram, I'm building my whole entire business off of Instagram, right? And so if anything happens to Instagram, I don't
Right.
have a business anymore, right?
Right.
So it's on my radar that I need to start building my email list so that if something happens,
Yes.
An example of this is that I went to this really awesome hair salon for years and years. And the gal had created her email list and everything, but it was a corporate owned salon. Well, one day they just closed the salon. Like they didn't let the hairstylist back in. They didn't give anybody, like nobody had, and I'm like, you know how we are about our hair. Like you have your person, like they can't, So luckily she had built that email list, and she sent an email out immediately. Like, I've already switched salons. Here's where I'm going to be. Call to make an appointment. And so it's the smart way to do business now, because with technology, it's great, but when it's not great, it's not. So we need to have a backup plan to be able to contact our followers and our collectors.
Yeah. Oh, Cindy Captain said, I know that's her. She said you could use a business card or postcard style with small collection of pictures of your art, contact info. Oh, and include a 10% discount on a future sale of $100 or more. Ooh, I love that.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. So they have to sign up on the list to get the 10%. That's a great idea, Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
And Cindy said she liked my glasses. Thank you.
I like them too.
Thank you. So talk to us about Square, because there was a whole little mini fiasco right before you were getting ready to go with how are you going to get payment and all of that. So talk them through that and what your solution was.
Okay, that was great. So yeah, I can't remember why, but when I made my website, you had to choose which vendor you were going to use to take credit card. So you can take credit cards on your website. And it was between Square and Stripe. And I can't remember why, but I ended up going with Stripe on my website. I think it's because they took a variety of credit cards. They took American Express and MasterCard and Visa. And I think Square, I can't remember what it was. But anyways, on my website, I chose Stripe. When I was looking to get ready to go to this fair, obviously everybody's seen people using the little Square apps where they put it on their phone and you swipe your card with the little tool that but I thought, oh, Stripe has something like that. So I thought I'll just use Stripe since that's what I'm using on my website. So I ordered the little reader card. Well, I waited a little long to get it set up, but when I was calling to get it connected to my phone so that I could take the credit card payments, it was a whole rigmarole. And Stripe, and they said I think it was more geared towards retail stores where you have a physical store that you have to program the card reader to. So basically he told me on the phone that I would need a programmer to set the card reader up. So I panicked right away because I was going, what the heck? I can't do that. I don't know how to program. I'm horrible with technology. So then I went ahead and went online and ordered one of the Square card readers. I had it expedited. It came in 2 days. I called them. I got the app on my phone. It was like 2 seconds and it was all set up, ready to go. So I was able to take credit card payments at the fair. So I definitely recommend getting Square, not anything else. Just get Square because it's easy and you can connect it. That way you can also, I think that also connects to your websites. You just have to look it up on how you do that. But I was just using it to take the credit card payments and it was easy, fast. It was perfect. Yeah.
Well, and Square is a very big name now in that industry, right? And so it's Square, PayPal, Venmo. Those are big names that people recognize and that they are trusting. So they'll be more likely to, let you swipe it and not be concerned with,
something
whether
weird.
or not so anything weird happening so.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it would be easy because it showed they had a little reader like it looked like the Square one. So I thought, oh, great, I'll just do Stripe because that's what I have on my website. But no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily you figured it out where you still had a few days. That's a lesson there. It's like, don't wait until the last minute to be prepared because you never know. I mean, it's Murphy's Law, right?
Yeah. Well, I called you right away panicking so that you could help me. But it was awesome. But yeah, I figured it out. So that was good.
So you mentioned earlier that your favorite part of the fair was meeting all of the other artists and the art community. So what happened with that and how was it?
Yeah, so I met so many nice artists and they were fully open to sharing. You know how we are. I think our artist community is amazing and we're always, able to share and want to help each other. So just going around to other people's booth, I would go talk to them and say, luckily my sister came to help me. That's one thing that was helpful, to have a second person there to sit at the booth if you needed to go take a break. So it was wonderful. So my sister and brother-in-law came, so it was great. So it was allowed me to get out and walk around and kind of see. Also, I saw how other people set up their booths, and I was talking to one lady about the mesh that she used on the side of her tent, because it's kind of a tricky, and that's something I'll maybe have to talk about later, is how you hang your pictures on the sides of the tent. And she has this one really nice vendor that does it, but it's expensive. It's like $1,000 for a side of your tent. Is it
like Pro Panels or something?
Yeah, something like that. But I ended up just getting mine from Amazon. But the thing is that they're a little bit wimpy, so I don't know how long they're going to last. The one she has almost has like a metal, a place where you can put a metal bar at the bottom. It's more durable mesh. I'm also thinking about maybe trying to make my own if I can find the right mesh material and just sew my own. But I got to look into that. But I did just get some from Amazon, and I ended up buying um, upholstery hooks that you just stab into the fabric, and then you have to have all your paintings wired, and then they just hook right there on the upholstery hooks. But what I loved is going around and talking to people where they got, so I found out the name of that one vendor. I'll have to add it on to one of my posts, or if somebody wants to know the name of that vendor, let me know. But it's so I asked her, I said, where did she get her mesh panels? I talked about what they were doing to get their emails. And it was just so much fun to just talk to them and compare. And, if it was their first time at the show, if they'd been going to that show for a while. And a lot of people said that was their favorite show that they had been to. So it was an outdoor show, Aussie Mama. It was outdoor in San Clemente, California. So it was a beautiful day. It was like 80 degrees. They had music playing. It was really chill and kind of, California vibe. There was a lot of photographers that would have like surfer prints, and they had prints and cards. And so I was able to meet a lot of really cool artists. There was another artist that did like tie-dyed clothes, but she also had photography prints that she was selling. So I had talked to her, and it was really cool. It was really kind of a casual vibe. And I think that's why I wanted to go to that one, because it didn't feel too intimidating to me from my first one.
Yeah.
But I also talked to people about and noticed how they had set up their booths. So already the way I set up my booth, I won't do it that way again. I'm definitely changing how I set up my booth, and I'm going to make it more about the tabletop items, and then have the fine art on the sides and in the front for a little bit more like window dressing.
Yeah. Allie. Hi, Allie. She said,
Hi,
how much inventory did you take with you?
Oh, good question. I think I had 25 to 30 prints, and they were the 8x10 prints with an 1-inch border around them. I had small 5x7 original art on paper that I had put in white matte, and I had about 50 of those. Then I had some miscellaneous original art that I had done on canvas wrap panels, and then I had all my canvas art, and I think I had about, like, I felt like I didn't have enough. I felt that's why the way I set up my booth, it felt a little sparse. So that's why I'm going to change how I set the booth up, and I'm going to put it in more of an H format with the original art on the sides, and put a panel in the front that I can hang on, and then the table will be in the middle, in the center, that will have all the tabletop stuff, the lower priced items on it. But I think I brought probably, I want to say maybe 30 paintings, and then a couple large ones that I carried in separately. But
That's so crazy that you felt like you didn't have enough, that you felt sparse. And
yeah,
I'm going to set up my table this afternoon and do a dry run of like what it's going to look like, because you feel like it's a lot until you get it all there. And depending on the space, it can dwarf it and make it look like it's less than it is. Is that how you feel what happened?
Yeah, you're smart with setting it up first, because of course I did not.
Well, but I'm going to be on a table. I'm not I don't have a booth. You know what I mean? So that would be harder to attend. That would be harder to, set up and do a trial run and everything. So,
but it's not a bad idea if you have the space to set your tent up first and kind of figure out what you want to do. That is a great advice, because I didn't do that. I didn't have a place to set up the 10x10 tent. But once you set that 10x10 tent up, it's actually bigger than you think. So a lot of people would have small original art on tables that they would set up, and then they'd have the bigger paintings hanging above it. So it felt more full. And I think that's why I wanted to change my booth around on how I set it up. So it just feels more full.
It'll be interesting to see when you go in December, the difference, and then to be able to compare the two. And who knows, you may even change it all a third time, So right. Do you feel like Do you feel like that you loved it, that you had a great time? Would you do it again? I mean, you are going to do it again, but because you're already committed to the second time. But does this seem like something that you would, there's a lot of artists that this is what they do all the, they go get on kind of the circuit and they go to all these festivals and fairs and do this, and it can be almost a full-time job if you let
Yeah.
it be. So how did you feel overall about
Doing
doing it and the future of doing it more?
I think I don't know. So this one was a good one. Cindy did ask how much are they charging for booth spaces.
Oh, good.
So
That's a good question.
yeah, and I think it varies depending on what kind of event you're in. Like I have a feeling that um uh I have a feeling that a fine art fair is probably going to cost more. This
Mm-hmm.
one was a 1 day event. It was from 9 to 3 p.m. and it was $75 for the booth. And then it cost me $25 for the city business license
Oh,
because I don't live in that city. I'm just a city beyond, but you have to have a business license as well. So when you do one of these fairs, you definitely have to have a business license for the city. Now I heard, so basically San Clemente for the 2 days was $35 for the business license. Where I heard if you do one in Newport, it's like $115 for a business license. And I don't,
wow.
so yeah, so it just depends on the city. But this one, I think also that's why I felt like this is a good one to try out because it was only 75. But a lot of the vendors that I met, all the other artists there, they go to that one all the time and they say it's their favorite. And it's once a month. So I think it depends. So I want to try it out in December and see how it goes with my lower priced items. And then I'll know if it's something that's worth selling. Like I definitely covered the cost of my booth and the business license, but I didn't make a ton. Like I didn't sell a ton of things. And I think but I wasn't counting on that so much as just getting the experience and the
Yeah.
emails and all that stuff. So I think I'll see how December goes once I have some lower priced items. I'm also going to do like a 2 for pricing. So if you, let's say the ornaments are 25 each, but you buy 2 for 40. So I figured there's some incentive there as well. I'm going to try like a 2 for pricing. And acrylic paints. Danielle says here in Massachusetts, it's cheaper. The most I paid is $55. Was that for the booth or the business license? I'm curious, Daniela. But yeah, it totally depends. In California, it is expensive for everything. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past. I
And
wouldn't
we're
put it
right behind
past.
you in Seattle.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so back to that question, I don't know. I'm gonna try it again and see, like I said, see how it goes with the lower price pointed items. I definitely want to try one now that I did this one that was more the arts and crafts. I definitely want to try a more of an pure fine art fair because then I would have that to compare to, and
Mm-hmm.
then I could decide maybe I end up doing like a couple months of the arts and crafts and then maybe 1 or 2 of the fine art fairs and put that in. But it is a lot of work. You got to pack everything up and get your tent set up and your booth and all that. So it is a lot, but it's super fun meeting people face to face,
Yeah.
especially after the pandemic. So I love that interaction. So if you're a people person, you may just love art fairs, that may be your thing. So I'm still undecided. I'm going to wait and see because inherently I'm kind of shy. I may not act like it, but in my heart, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to sit back
Yeah.
in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was fun and I did like meeting people and it was great that way and meeting other artists. So that interaction was really good. So that could be a factor. But I think that decision is going to be out a little bit. I'll have to let you know.
Okay, so we'll to be continued on that question. So, acrylic paint said booth. She was saying that 55 for the booth.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
that's
good
actually a great
price.
price. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great price.
because then you sell like 1 or 2 prints and you paid for it. So then
Totally. It
totally
takes
would
the
be worth
pressure
it.
off of like if you're investing your money in the right areas to grow your business. And then Allie said, you said California was expensive. I said Seattle, and then she said NYC. You win. New York wins because it
It's
is
the most
super
expensive.
expensive there.
Yeah, yeah. And
And then I'm sure it's like a muscle. You get less shy each time. Absolutely.
yeah,
I think that I agree. I think that the
true.
more that you do it, the more that you will kind of come out of that shyness and be able to. And I think that it's kind of weird when you're first putting yourself out there, which I'm going to be doing that this Friday night.
Uh-huh.
And it'll be the first time that I will have had my art live in front of people, not just on Instagram. And how do you talk about it? What are they going to ask you? Am I prepared to talk about it? I think that that muscle too will grow for you, talking about your art, talking about your practice, and just kind of getting used to talking about ourselves, because I like to talk about other people, but it's hard to talk about yourself because, my mom as a kid was always like, don't be conceited, don't be full of yourself, don't always talk about
Right. Oh
yourself.
yeah.
Right. And so we
Yeah.
have those tapes playing, which is good advice. But when people are coming to look at your art, they want to know about the art and about you and about your process. And so that can be, I think, uncomfortable to,
Yeah.
learn how to do.
Yeah, but you just talk about how it brought you joy when you were, after your a corporate career, and it's gonna resonate with people. And Cindy also said, she said, once you set up and you have a plan for your booth, you just keep repeating, so it becomes
Rinse and
easier.
repeat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and acrylic paints, Danielle says, I was so scared my first time, but I love the questions and meeting people. Yes. Oh my God, Danielle, I have to tell you this other part about doing an art fair. Yes, I had my sister and brother-in-law to help me, which was godsend, just to have someone else there to talk to. But I recruited like a bunch of friends. I kept pushing or asking people, make sure you come by the fair and say hi. Make sure you come by. Oh my God, I am so thankful that I had the support of friends and family to come by to the booth, because it just gave it activity, and it was so
Yeah.
nice to have people come by that supported you. So I would also say, if you have a art fair booth, make sure you make your friends and family come. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need them in our corner and cheering for us.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so much. So much. It
Well,
was so great.
I'm really glad that you had fun. I'm glad that it turned out great. I know you were super nervous. We had many conversations about it. What did Aussie Mama? Both of you are happy, smiley people, so you will draw them. Ah, thank you, girl.
I know. We have to say good luck to Terry, because hers is this Friday. Her
It
pop-up shop is
is.
Friday.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's a lot of work to get ready. I was telling Tony that Tony's my husband, if you don't know, but I was telling him I only had 2 weeks to really prepare. I thought I would have longer, but there's an Oktoberfest festival that's going on the same night, and they wanted to kind of, get that foot traffic in from that, which I get, but I didn't have any of the paintings painted really, the small ones, the minis that I'm doing. So 2 weeks is not a lot of time to paint, varnish, sign, do the certificates. It's a lot going into it. So I've got my list every day. Before I got on here, I was signing the backs of all the stuff, but it's been super fun. And I'm just ready this is a big step for me. I mean, if you would have told me 2 years ago that I would have my paintings in a store, I would have been like, what paintings? I mean, I don't even paint. What are you talking about?
Oh my
So
God.
this
I
is
think, and
so cool.
I got a sneak peek of what she's doing. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you were in the Seattle area, you have to go by. Terry, maybe we can put that in the notes of where it's going to be on Friday, because
Yeah.
they look so amazing and so super cute. I think she's going to sell out. That's my prediction.
Well, I get nervous when I start talking about sales because I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm going with the same attitude as you. Like every step of, after leaving my other career, there was so much pressure on sales. I was in a sales organization for, 23 years, and this is for me just joy and fun. And so when I first started to even think about if I was going to put my art out there, that it was every step that I took would just be to have the joy in the step of that. So for me, if I sell, it will be great, but it's more about the experience of like, wow, I did it. I got asked to be in a pop-up. I got asked to have my art in their store, and I just never would have imagined that could happen for me. And so that's the have just being in the moment of that experience of just the whole thing. Getting ready. I was painting my edges and yesterday or the day before, and I was like, oh my God, like I watch videos of people getting ready for their shows, and I was like, one day I'm gonna be that. And I'm like, today is that day. I'm doing it. It's happening. And it's small and it's tiny, but it's still a huge step for me. Somebody like Jody King would probably be like, I don't have time to do a pop-up, girl. I'm selling, whatever. But this is my first step, so I'm super excited.
Yeah, and we're just both of us are just getting our names out there. So we got to try things.
Yeah.
And just do it and just have some fun. Oh, Aussie Mama, read what she wrote.
You should do a mini live on Instagram. So, I'm going to, I'm so, I'm learning the whole Instagram thing as well. I'm taking a class on it. And so, yes, I will definitely be doing I'm learning, I'm getting better, and I'm teaching Jeanette at the same time, like content, like record everything, get it out there because that's what we need. So yes, thank you. I will post it and it should be fun. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll totally do it. Thank you for supporting me. And Jeanette, I can't wait until you have your second art fair, and you're inspiring me. I'm going to apply for one coming up too. And so if I get in, then when you'll be able to walk me through all the steps. So thanks for sharing and teaching us about how to do all of that.
Yeah, well, and I can't wait. We're going to share one of our shows. Our next one, we'll do how Terry's pop-up went and see what she did different from what I did, and we can share that as well. So hopefully she'll have some learnings that we can pass on.
Already, and haven't even got there yet. So yes, there's some learning happening for sure.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, that was awesome. I had fun talking to you guys about it, and I hope you got some good info. And of course, as always, reach out to us if you guys want to share info on what you found. If you've done art fairs too, I'd love to know, and that'll help us on our next ones too.
Yeah, and thank you for all the advice that you gave to us as well in the comments, because this community is just ridiculously outstanding. The art community far exceeds what I ever could have imagined as far as people and sharing and loving and supporting and helping. And so thanks for listening. Thanks for your comments and your advice. And hopefully we just keep it going and we just cheer for each other all the time.
Yeah. And we'll see you in a couple weeks, everybody.
Yes. Okay. Have a great couple weeks.
Bye,
bye everybody.
Okay, bye.